Hi! Today I want to show here my first ever finished sketchbook, which was full of challenges and experiments. And I'll tell you how I dared to start it and how it helped me to overcome some of my art fears. This video will be full of memories, so I decided to find a special quiet place to film it. If to be honest, the way here was long. But I like to explore new places, so I'm a bit tired after all this hill walking, but full of joy. So now I feel ready to start this sketchbook tour. In the beginning, I want to tell you how I unexpectedly decided to start this sketchbook. It was at the end of January, and that day I planned to go to the ice rink with my friends, but they got sick. I decided that I want to go ice skating anyway, but I was afraid that it would be boring in between skating, you know, when they clean ice. So I bought this tiny sketchbook and this Derwent set on my way to ice rink. It was the first time I painted in public, and I definitely was not confident about my watercolor painting skills. I used a photo my mom made and sent me that morning for inspiration. The second page and the second unusual place for drawing. This time I used watercolor pencils to make a sketch first. This page was inspired with the first episode of the series Dark. I watched only this first episode because I don't have a lot of time for movies. Here I tried to depict a water surface. I used a reference for this. For this picture I used reference from Pinterest. I'll do my best to find the author of this image and put their name in the description. Here I began to sketch an ice skate on my foot while I had several minutes, but I didn't have enough time to finish. These hands were drawn with a fine ink pen, and the background is made with the same Derwent Inktense paint as all previous. I don't want to comment this one. I hope here someone can see a pond covered with water lily leaves. It glisters under a lamp because I painted these light strokes with wax. I used a special pen, and since wax is moisture repellent, it was possible to paint over it without fear. Here I finally allowed myself to use white paint for the stars instead of leaving the white unpainted. This rose was painted quickly for this video with a graceful guest star. This is my eye, drawn with watercolor pencils and black pen. Here we have a bunny, the sky with a person on an old-fashioned bicycle greeting us. This is Kadama. It's Japanese spirit who lives in forest. And I painted it from life. Yep, this Japanese spirit posed for me personally. Here I first try a line and wash technique. On the next page I painted my mother walking under the linden trees. I gave her this drawing with a birthday present, so this page is no longer in the sketchbook. Next comes a triptych. I'll cover with a flower that grew here just under my feet this part, because I don't want to confuse anyone. I don't have a fig leaf. So in the first picture of my triptych we see a girl who has hands inside her chest, and in the next two we have an interaction of both her hands, which symbolizes the interaction of the sensual and the rational. On the next page I painted in line and wash technique from life while chatting with friends in garden. If to be honest, it's really challenging for me to draw when someone can watch, but I decided to conquer this fear one step at a time. Getting inside tube. This is my next step in overcoming unconfidence of drawing from life, in public, in broad daylight, and using pen and transparent watercolor in addition, which means I cannot erase if I do something wrong. While I drew, the surrounding scenery had changed a bit. It was a really good day. While I painted, I heard some leaf violin. I was in high spirits, so I decided to challenge myself even more and draw street musicians who played that music. Oh my god, I was scared, but excited and glad in the same time. It was difficult because they moved all the time and because I don't have experience of drawing figures of people. But I am happy with the result and I definitely want to repeat this adventure. The next spread is a result of my experiment. I wanted to try to depict something without brush, so I decided to draw a believable heart using a simple heart-shaped stamp. So I just came up with an idea to make a stamp from a wine cork. I am not sure this is the best material for this purpose, but I made it and it worked for me. It's the last spreadsheet of this sketchbook, so I just want to say thank you to it, to my sketchbook, because it taught me so much. Now I am a bit more confident as an artist. All my life I'd considered watercolor as the most fastidious medium. I think it is a pen that is quite difficult to work with, so before this sketchbook I used opaque mediums only. And I am very curious if I am the only one who thinks so. Write in comments your opinion about transparent and opaque paints, please. What's easier to use for you?